One of the reasons I love talking about new construction, amongst other things, is it provides such a wide variety of entry points for a ton of different pricings. You could look at things from a starter home to upgrading in the mid, tiers to a full-on, full-blown customized house that gets you everything you want. And so today I kind of want to talk through the different levels of new construction, because I think some people, you don't know that there's all these different levels and entry points into getting into a brand new home. So what I want to do is I want to give you the 5 different levels that I see when it comes to new construction homes and why I think it's important for us to know this. So let's get started with level 1. Level 1 new construction homes are what I'm calling like zero customization new construction. So this is oftentimes what you see in a first-time home buyer. Like, it's just going to be your lowest pricing tier, and then everything's going to kind of shoot up from here. So zero customization homes, these are going to be things like DR Horton Express, or anything that you can see, like a lot of Lennar, even some Syntex in some spaces, depending on where it's at. These are going to be things that you see that go up super, super quickly, and it's communities that are built very quickly. And because here's the thing, they don't have to have any choices, right? This is also, I would say, even in a zero level, everything, or a level 1, excuse me. Everything is going to be picked by the builder. This is a take it or leave it option. I think I would go so far as to say a lot of these, it's not even, hey, this house has this color and that house has that color. This is a regardless of floor plan or regardless of lot selection or anything like that. Every house is going to have the same tile, carpet, cabinets, backsplash, paint color, everything, regardless of floor plan. So this is what you're going to find mostly in the starter home point. Very affordable space. So it's a great place if you're trying to get into the market. This is a very affordable space to be in, but just know that this is, don't go in with the expectations that you're going to make all these different changes and the builder's going to let you do all this stuff, because it's not going to happen. So I'm not saying that this is a bad place to be. I just want you to understand, like, if you're walking in on this one, have the right mindset and have the right expectation. So again, no customization. It's all going to be the same. So at that cheaper price point, that means you have more ability to do things you want to do post-closing. However, on the flip side, it means you have to do more things post-closing. Oftentimes this means, it can mean a lesser quality of work. Not always, but it can mean lesser quality work, which means you're going to spend more time fixing different things the longer you live in that home. This also usually means in some of these neighborhoods, it will become homes that end up becoming rental properties. So not guaranteeing that that's going to happen, but a lot of times this is where people buy, live in these homes for a couple of years, and then move on and keep them as rental properties. All right, let's move on to level 2. So level 2, I think this is where you get into what some builders would call packages or pallet design. So basically that means you're going to go in, you're going to pick your floor plan, you're going to pick the lot potentially, and then you're going to pick from a package. Like, this is our element package, this is our graystone package, and this is our apple package and whatever. So, but you're not going to make choices within that package. So it's like, hey, if you like the countertops but you hate the flooring, sorry about it. Like, that's what you're going to get. Builders that operate in this space kind of are, we're that next step above in terms of, hey, everything is not all the same. A lot of what happens too in this space is these builders really don't start contracting homes until they are at probably frame stage or a little after that. So this is one, like, I think Trophy falls in this space for me. So they do packages, and sometimes you get to pick, sometimes they pick, but there is no mix matching across packages one way or another to say, hey, I want this, but I want that, and I want to put them together. It just doesn't happen. You can find really good quality here. Just know, again, you're not going to make any changes. So the good thing is, a lot of the times when builders do this, so like Trophy, sometimes Meritage, those are kind of the two that come to mind in this space. When they do that, you have a couple different options to pick from. So oftentimes it's like, hey, find the floor plan you like, and then pick the home that matches the color palette that you want to see happen. This is also the space where you're probably not going to see a ton of structural changes. So there's probably 1 or 2 options, if that, within the catalog of saying, hey, if you're picking this home, we can make a couple of different structural changes, but there's really probably not going to be a ton of those options to pick from. right? Okay, before we get to level 3 and level 4, I think is where, honestly, a lot of people really kind of strive to be. And this is kind of the expectation that a lot of people have of level 3 and level 4, getting it at a level 1 price. And it just doesn't happen. So before we get to that, I just want to tell you, my name is Zach. I sell new construction homes here in DFW. I help people buy and sell all the time. If you have questions or you have comments, my contact information is right here. Would love for you to reach out. I would love to represent you in that transaction and help you find your new home. So level 3, I think is where a lot of people tend to sit. I think this is where a lot of builders live. So this is like packages with selections. So let's say you want the A package, and in the A package, you have 15 different selections. So you can kind of mix and match within this package or with this palette or however you want to do it. This is also where you tend to find more structural upgrades. It's like, hey, maybe you went from 1 or 2 options to 5 to 10 cataloged options of like, this is something you can do within our house. You're picking elevations, you're picking stone, you're picking brick, you're adding bedrooms and, replacing dining rooms with studies. And then you're making the selections based on the package. And then that package carries through the whole home. The 2 builders that come to mind here for me, KHOV and Pacesetter. So KHOV has just switched to I got to get it right, a palette design, they call theirs palettes. So basically they have 4 or 5 different palettes. And in those palettes, there's different levels of things that you can pick. So you can get like palette farmhouse level 1 or level 2, and then it kind of changes based on what you pick. And then the pricing moves accordingly. Pacesetter has moved to, in some of their series, not their non-executive series, is also kind of this package design. You'll find a lot of times package design is done in the sales office or the model home of that community, and it's done with your sales representative. So you're not going to a design center, you're doing it kind of right there, or the builder is picking it for you, right? So you have a little bit of selection, you have a little bit of choice, but what's good here is, and what's good in really all the first 3 levels, is it should be very clear in terms of pricing of like, hey, this is what we did. And so you should have no sticker shock or surprise when pricing comes out. I think I really like this for KHOV, for example. They can tell you pretty clearly, KHOV's done this, TriPoint's done this, several others of like, hey, if you do this thing, this is exactly what it's going to cost you, and there's no shocking spaces at the end. And this is still a very affordable option, and you can still find builders around DFW that are doing this option in the like high 3 to mid 4, high 4 range. So don't think that this space here is unattainable. Now let's get to level 4. Level 4 is what I think of as a design center option when it comes to building your home. This is going to be a builder like David Weekley. This is going to be like Perry, Highland, any of those type of builders where once you decide you're building, you are going into a design center with a design specialist and picking everything that goes into your home. This is elevation, this is brick, this is also more structural options. This is not full custom structural options, but this is more options for your structure. This is more options for flooring, cabinets, countertops, doors, handles, sinks, faucets, all of those things kind of get mixed and matched, right? This is the point when you can say, hey, I want this LVP in my main space. I want this tile in my laundry room. I want that tile in the main bathroom and that tile there in my secondary bathroom. So this is that customization level I think that most people think of when they think of building a home. But this is not across the board everywhere. Again, my goal here is kind of managing expectations and not saying that any one of these is better than the other, just to kind of give you perspective of like, hey, if you're doing this, here's what you should expect. This is the one too that I think a lot of people, if they're not careful, end up with the most sticker shock, because when you go into those design centers, it's literally like being a kid in a candy store, and there are so many choices, right? A lot of the times the designers, they are super, super great about helping you, stay on budget and get the things you want done. But also people blink and they've spent $25,000 or $30,000 additional on top of the base price of their home. So the builder's going to give you some sort of design incentive, most likely, but also just be mindful that you're going to, you're going to spend some money here. Figure probably 12 to 15% of base price is usually what I try and tell clients is, hey, when we do structure and design, this is probably what you're going to do. The biggest expenses are going to be flooring, cabinets, countertops. So you can do this. This is going to be a great experience. There's also still affordability in this space, right? You can find Highland homes that are starting in the mid to high 3s or low 4s around DFW. You can find some Perry homes that are starting in the high 3s into the 4s. You can find some David Weekley homes that are starting in that space. So it's not like this is a $500,000 and over budget point. This, like, there are affordable options that allow you to do design if you know where to look. And lastly, as we finish out the top of the pyramid, we get to level 5. So this is I would call this probably the true custom home. So this is, you are picking every single thing, and it's like, hey, you see the blueprints and you want to move a wall by 4 feet, you're moving the wall. Hey, you're adding space here, you're drawing it up here. We're fully changing the exterior. A lot of times this is where you are either acquiring your own land and bringing in the builder. This is usually not what's happening within a master plan development, is this customization level. So you're going to make every single decision that could ever be made, but it's going to come at a cost, right? So truthfully, at sometimes building at a fully custom level is going to get you exactly what you want, but it's going to cost you more, and you're going to have to think more about location and where you're putting that home, because that is not going in a master plan neighborhood for the most part. So that gives us all 5 levels. And then I guess there's probably a caveat that I need to throw in of, like, buying from a builder's inventory. I would say probably sits somewhere between level 1 and level 3. And here's why I say that is because if it's on inventory and the home is done, it is very unlikely that the builder is going to let you make any sort of changes to that home, unless it's been sitting for a long time and they've heard, the same feedback over and over of, like, yeah, that granite is just awful. Most of the time, those changes are not going to happen on something that's on a builder's inventory. Occasionally, if you find something on inventory that is not far enough along, like it is just getting to frame stage and the designs haven't been selected yet, then there's a chance you can make a change, but it'll mostly be design changes, not structural changes. Very rarely at that point are you going to make any structural changes, because that's going to have to change plans and permits and all of those things. And they're not usually wanting to let you do that. So buying from an inventory probably falls somewhere in the middle, depending on the builder and depending on how far along the home is. The good news about that is with their designers, you usually probably get something really good. If you're looking at somebody that would be like a level 2, 3, or 4, and you're buying from that inventory, you're probably going to get something that you'll like. A level 1, you're always buying from their inventory. Like, there's no changes anyway, even if you ask. So that's because every home in the neighborhood is going to be, or every home built by that builder in that neighborhood is going to look exactly the same. So take it for what you want. Okay, hope that was helpful in terms of, like, levels of building design. If you have questions, my contact information again is right there. I would love to help you buy or build here in DFW, whether it's Forney or Hazlitt or Rockwall, doesn't matter. I'm all over the DFW Metroplex. New construction is what I enjoy. It's what I specialize in. So if I can help you in that transaction, let me know. If you have questions or you have comments about your build process, leave them down below. We'd love to answer those and have a conversation with you. And of course, if you want to browse some really awesome new construction homes that can close quickly with the best deals, there's a link in the bio to do that, or a link in the description to do that down below. Thank you for hanging out with me. Hope this was helpful. We will see you in our next video. Bye for now.